Hey guys, it's Melanie. Welcome to my channel. I have another April book haul for you, so stay tuned. So I have 11 more books to haul for you for April, so I'm just going to get right into this. If you would like to check out one of these for yourselves, I will link all of them down in the description below. Let's just get right to it though. The first book I have here is American Panda by Gloria Chow. And this says, let me turn this way. At 17, Mei Lu should be in high school, but skipping 4th grade was part of her parents' master plan. Now a freshman at MIT, she is on track to fulfill the rest of this predetermined future, become a doctor, marry a pre-approved Taiwanese Ivy Leaguer, produce a litter of babies. With everything her parents have sacrificed to make her cushy life a reality, Mei can't bring herself to tell them the truth. That she 1. Hates germs, 2. Falls asleep in biology lectures, and 3. Has a crush on her classmate, Darren Takayashi, who is decidedly not Taiwanese. But when she reconnects with her brother Xing, who is estranged from the family for dating the wrong woman, Mei starts to wonder if all the secrets are truly worth it. Can she find a way to be herself, whoever that is, before her web of lies unravels? From debut author Gloria Chow comes a hilarious, heartfelt tale of how, unlike the panda, life isn't always so black and white. And I think this is going to be really, really cute. Next up we have The Coincidence of Coconut Cake by Amy E. Reichart. And this says, in downtown Milwaukee, Wisconsin, chef Lou Johnson works tirelessly to build her beloved yet struggling restaurant, Luella's, into a success. She cheerfully balances business, friends, and fiancé until fate intervenes. She's just baked her fiancé a rich, delectable coconut cake, but when she drops by his apartment with the birthday surprise, she discovers him in the buff with an intern. Sardonic British transplant Al writes with a pseudonym, I can't say that word, scathing restaurant reviews for the local paper. When a tip sends him to Luella's, little does he know he's arrived on the worst day of the chef's life. The review practically writes itself. Underdone fish, scorched sauce, distracted service, he unleashes his worst. The day that Al's review runs, he meets Lou, drowning her sorrows at a pub, and the two strike up a conversation. Accepting the Englishman's challenge to prove there's more to the Milwaukee food scene than cheese and beer, Lou introduces her new friend to the city's best. It's only a matter of time before they fall in love, but when the truth comes out, will it be possible to overlook the past and savor a future together? I think this sounds fun. Also, I think this is going to be a book that makes me really hungry when I read it. Next up we have The Next Person You Meet in Heaven by Mitch Albom, and this is also a signed first edition, which is pretty cool. I have, well, this is a sequel to The First Person You Meet in Heaven, or The First 5 People You Meet in Heaven, something like that. But I think it's packed away in a box of books that I was planning on unhauling. I did really enjoy the book. And want to continue with reading the series, but I didn't figure it was a book that I would reread, so I took it off my shelves. And now I don't know where it is. But this is, well, The 5 People You Meet in Heaven, or The First 5 People You Meet in Heaven, whatever it's called, is literally that. It starts out with a man dying, and then he goes to heaven and he meets these different people, and each one kind of show him how he affected their lives. Even if he didn't seem to know anything at all about this person, or maybe only met him in passing or something like that, it's how he played a big part in their lives. And well, this is just continuing that story. Also, they're really short, and it's got little deckled edges. This, let's see, is just a little over 200 pages. Deckled edges are pretty, but they're really kind of annoying when trying to turn the page. This has got 210 pages. Also, I have a Katniss right here. She's all up in my way. And then I also have a Sasha right here. She's all up in my way. And there's cat hair just flying around everywhere. Okay, next up we have The Mermaid by Christina Henry. And it kind of matches my hair. She has written several other retelling kind of stories, like The Lost Boy, or Lost Boy, not The Lost Boy, Red Queen, and Alice. And I've heard, I haven't read any of those yet, but I've heard they were really good and like dark and kind of gruesome and probably closer to like originals, fairy tale type things. This one, I believe, is like a mix of The Little Mermaid meets Barnum and Bailey. Yeah, it says, once there was a mermaid called Amelia who could never be content in the sea. A mermaid who longed to know all the world and all its wonders, and so she came to live on land. Once there was a man named P.T. Barnum, a man who longed to make his fortune by selling the wondrous and miraculous, and there's nothing more miraculous than a real mermaid. Amelia agrees to play the mermaid for Barnum and walk among men in their world, believing she can leave anytime she likes. But Barnum has never given up a money-making scheme in his life, and he's determined to hold on to his mermaid. Next up we have The Truth About Happily Ever After by Carol Kozo. And this says, the truth about Happily Ever After. She thought she had found her fairy tale ending, but her real story is just beginning. Alyssa has a job she loves, working as Cinderella at her favorite theme park, a fantastic group of friends, and a boyfriend who will no longer be long distance. But as the summer progresses, her prince becomes less charming and more distant, and Alyssa's perfect summer falls apart. Forced to acknowledge that life is not always a fairy tale, Alyssa starts working to pull herself back together. Fortunately, she doesn't have to do it alone. With her friend Miller's support, she's determined to prove that she's more than just a pretty princess. And with his help, maybe she's finally ready for something better than dreams. Maybe she's ready for something real. And I think this is going to be a lot of fun. Next up we have Other Earth by Jason Segel and Kristen Miller. And this is the sequel to Otherworld, which is like a virtual reality kind of book. This says, the company welcomes you to Otherworld, the new generation of gaming. There are no screens, there are no controls. You don't just see and hear it, you taste, smell, and touch it too. In this new reality, there are no laws to break or rules to obey. You can live your best life. Indulge every desire. Imagine a game so addictive you'll never want it to end, until you realize that you're the one being played. Welcome to Otherworld. Step into the future, leave your body behind. The frightening future that Jason Segel and Kristen Miller have imagined is not far away. Otherworld asks the question we'll all soon be asking, if technology can deliver everything we want, how much are we willing to pay? And I do remember enjoying this. It's been a few years since I've read it, so I'll probably need to reread it before I read Other Earth, but mostly because I've like read several other virtual reality type books since then. But I did enjoy it and I still own it, so I'm looking forward to reading this one. Next up we have In Some Other Life by Jessica Brody, and this says, her life could have been completely different and she's about to find out how. 3 years ago, Kennedy Rhodes secretly made the most important decision of her life. She declined her acceptance to the prestigious Windsor Academy to attend the local public school with her longtime crush, who had finally asked her out. It seems it was the right choice. She and Austin are still together, and Kennedy is now the editor-in-chief of the school's award-winning newspaper. But then Kennedy's world is shattered when she walks in on Austin kissing her best friend, and she wonders if her life would have been better had she made the other choice. The very next day, Kennedy falls and hits her head, mysteriously awaking in a parallel universe where she's a senior at the Windsor Academy. In this life, Kennedy is at the top of her class, she's popular, she has the coolest best friend, and she's practically a shoo-in for Columbia University. But as she navigates her new world, she starts to question this alternate version of herself. Is she really as happy as everyone seems to believe? Or is it possible that this Kennedy is harboring secrets and regrets of her own? And I think this is going to be really good. And Jessica Brody has a way of making me cry. We did a live show with her after reading The Chaos of Standing Still for one of our season-a-thon and read-a-thons. I think it was Mary Bookmas. And I'll link that live show up here if you want to go and check that out. She's really cool. Okay, next up we have The Storyteller, Book 3 of the Reader Trilogy by Tracy Chee. And I have book 1 right here. And this is really good. I definitely recommend it, but I recommend physically reading it, not audiobook reading it, because there's things you will miss if you don't physically read it. This says, "There was once, and one day there will be. This is the beginning of every story." Sefia lives her life on the run. After her father is viciously murdered, she flees to the forest with her Aunt Nin, the only person left she can trust. They survive in the wilderness together, hunting and stealing what they need, forever looking over their shoulders for new threats. But when Nin is kidnapped, Sefia is suddenly on her own, with no way to know who's taken Nin or where she is. Her only clue is a strange rectangular object that once belonged to her father. Something, she comes to realize, is a book. Though reading is unheard of in Sefia's world, she slowly learns, unearthing the book's closely guarded secrets, which may be the key to Nin's disappearance, and discovering what really happened the day her father was killed. With no time to lose, and the unexpected help of swashbuckling pirates and an enigmatic stranger, Sefia sets out on a dangerous journey to rescue her aunt, using the book as her guide. In the end, she discovers what the book had been trying to tell her all along. Nothing is as it seems, and the end of her story is only the beginning. And I loved this book. My mom and I both loved this book. It was a 5-star read for me. I highly recommend it. And I came across book 3, so I had to pick it up. Next up we have The Little Paris Bookshop by Nina George. And this says, Monsieur Perdu is a literary apothecary. From his floating bookstore in a barge on the Seine, he prescribes novels for the hardships of life, using his intuitive feel for the exact book a reader needs. Perdu mends broken hearts and souls. The only person he can't seem to heal is himself. He's still haunted by heartbreak after his great love disappeared. She left him with only a letter that he has never opened. After Perdu is finally tempted to read the letter, he hauls anchor and departs on a mission to the south of France, hoping to make peace with his loss and discover the end of the story. He dispenses his books and his wisdom along the way, showing that the literary world can take the human soul on a journey to heal itself. An international bestseller filled with warmth and adventure, The Little Paris Bookshop is a love letter to books meant for anyone who believes in the power of stories to shape people's lives. And if you can't tell, I love a bookish book. Next up we have The Looking Glass by Janet McNally. And this says, Girls in Trouble. That's what Sylvie Blake's older sister Julia named their favorite fairy tale book, way back when they were just girls themselves. Now, Julia has disappeared and no one knows if she's in trouble. Sylvie is trying to carry on Julia's impressive legacy at the prestigious National Ballet Theatre Academy, turning Fouette's, I'm not sure if I said that right, until the spinning in her head can be blamed on ballet alone. But Julia, ever the star of the show, can't stay hidden forever. And when she sends Sylvie a copy of their old storybook with a mysterious list inside, Sylvie begins to see signs of her sister everywhere she goes. She may be losing her grip on reality, but Sylvie has to find out if the strange, almost magical thing she's been seeing, a figure in a red cape walking a wolf, a silver shoe abandoned by a fleeing girl in blue, have anything to do with Julia's whereabouts. With the help of her best friend's enigmatic brother and his beat-up car, Sylvie sets out to the beat of a Fleetwood Mac playlist, determined to return to New York with her sister in tow. But what Sylvie doesn't expect to learn is that trouble comes in lots of forms, and that the damsel in distress is often the only one who can save herself. And I think this is going to be an amazing, like, fairy tale retelling kind of thing, and I'm so excited for it. Also, another bookish book. And then the last book I have here is Drumroll Please by Lisa Jen Bigelow. And I know this is a queer middle grade book. I heard about this from Chelsea over Chelsea Darling Reads, and I know that she really likes this. I can't recall if I've heard anybody else talk about it, but I know that Chelsea likes this one. This says, every heart has its own rhythm. Melissa Goodwin only joined the school band because her best friend Olivia begged her to. But to her surprise, quiet Melly loves playing the drums. It's the only time in her life she doesn't feel like a mouse. Now she and Olivia are about to spend the next 2 weeks at Camp Rockaway, jamming under the stars in the Michigan woods. But the day before they leave, Melly's parents share major news. They're getting divorced. Miles from home, Melly's life is thrown further out of sync when she meets her new bandmate, Adeline. With her sandpaper voice and a beat-up guitar, Adeline helps Melly feel confident when Melly feels anything but. And at night, when the girls in her tent compare crushes, Melly finds she isn't thinking about boys. She's thinking about Adeline. To top it all off, Melly and Olivia seem to be growing apart, and Melly's not sure she has what it takes to be a real rock and roll drummer. Will she be able to make music from all the noise in her heart? And I think it's going to be really cute. Ooh. So these are the 11 additional books that I picked up for April. Have you read any of them? Did you like them? Did you not? Comment down below and let me know. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give me a big thumbs up. If you'd like to see more videos like this, click that subscribe button down below. And until next time, remember to always be completely you. Bye!